Welcome back to the Mr. Think Smart Show. I'm back in my city. I'm back at Harris-Stowe State University, but I'm back with somebody new. This, my friends, my family, my people, my viewers, this is somebody new. He's come from, I'm gonna let him tell you where he comes from, but he's come to my institution, Harris-Stowe State University, and he's changing the game. We just finished an amazing homecoming, and we thank him for helping the alumni with doing that. Brother Jeff L. Shaw, the Vice President of, what is this? What you are? I didn't know you they changed the name?
Institutional Advancement?
I don't know if that was the name. Institutional Advancement? I thought it was Alumni Relations.
Well, there's Alumni Relations, which works under Institutional Advancement.
There we go.
So we've had a director of Alumni Relations before. But Institutional Advancement is kind of like the entity at the top that says Institutional Advancement, Alumni Relations, the Harris-Stowe Foundation, and all the development activities fall up under Institutional Advancement.
I did not know that. You just educated me about something new.
Hey, that's what I'm here to do.
Exactly. Well, I thank you for that knowledge, because I was reading, I was like, hold on, is this the wrong? I had to look up it again to make sure.
Right, this doesn't say alumni.
Right, exactly. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
So before we go into what you do here, because you only been here 4 months, you're doing magic. You're making things happen. Before we go into that, let's talk about your history and how did you get into working with in this area of institutional advancement.
Okay, well that's a long story. I'll try to give you the better parts of it without going into too much detail. But basically, my first job in higher education was at Florida A&M University. I graduated from Florida State University, so I will honestly, and this is no joke, no cap, I found my passion at the first HBCU I worked at, which was Florida A&M University. I did not really know what I wanted to do, but I found myself, I was an IT guy, and I found myself as the IT guy in the institutional advancement office. But my background was counseling. I really went to school to be a counselor. So when you put the IT and counselor thing together, what you end up with is an IT guy who likes to talk to people. Right. So that's a little bit unusual for most IT guys. But I found myself going around the institutional advancement office asking people, what do you do? How do you do your job? What does that entail? And that way I was able to find better solutions for them in the technology sense because I was interested in their jobs. But because I was interested, I started to learn what institutional advancement was. So I kind of started there, and then I became like a database person, managing the database for institutional advancement. I became the annual giving person. I started raising money in annual giving, sending out letters and emails and things like that, text to give. I started doing all that stuff. And when I started to get kind of good at it, I get a call from Texas Southern University saying, hey, why don't you come over here and be our annual giving person and help us raise some money over here. So they hired me as an associate director of advancement or development. So I was able to leave the IT kind of piece behind and just become a full-time fundraiser. So I went over there, did the same thing, raised some money, and then next thing you know, I'm working at United Negro College Fund saying, hey, why don't you help us raise some corporate gifts and do some scholarships and help us get money from. So then I found myself meeting with corporate executives and building events and working with the mayors of the city and things like that, building those types of events. And I was like, okay, this is great because everything I was doing was supporting HBCUs, which where my passion is. Then I had the opportunity to come back to Texas Southern because they said, we really need somebody who can run our development department. Development is just fancy way of saying fundraising. So I came back as their associate vice president for development. So I did that for a while, and then next thing you know, I'm getting a call from Harris-Stowe saying, we need you. We need you. We need somebody who can build this advancement department pretty much from the ground up. Somebody who kind of knows all the aspects of it, knows the right people to put in place, the right things to do, and the right way to build it up because, we're kind of starting at ground zero right now. And to me, it was a challenge because I found myself kind of doing that kind of work everywhere I had been. So to me, it wasn't intimidating. It was a challenge to say, you know what, Jeff, you said that you want to help HBCUs. This is a way to do that. Why not take this opportunity and see what you can do to run with it? So I'm here now, and I kind of hit the ground running, and I've been moving ever since. But I will honestly say I've been enjoying every minute of it.
That's great. So what I want my viewers always to notice So you could tell us the time frame in between when you recognized that gift and you right now. How long was that?
When you say I recognize my gift,
When I say the gift of, or the drive, the passion for HBCUs, and
Okay.
like, this is what I want to do.
I can take so I give you a couple of scenarios. One is when I was at Florida State University, I knew that I was supposed to graduate. I knew that much. And after you graduate, you're supposed to get a job. I knew that much. But I didn't really have a direction. You know, I knew I was a psychology major, but wasn't sure what kind of field I wanted to go into. I got a job that kind of went along with where I was volunteering while I was in school. So that was cool, you know. But once I decided to become an IT person, I got my job at Florida A&M University. It was almost like the light kind of came on that said, wait a minute. Had I gone to a HBCU? Because now I was at a university where I'm seeing administrators, vice presidents, associate vice president, the president, all these people look like me. I hadn't been seeing that before, so I really didn't have an aspiration to be anything other than just somebody to go get a job. Now I'm saying to myself, you know what, I could be one of these type of people. You know, so I started realizing that, you know, and then the other thing is at HBCUs, there's messaging that comes along with being at a HBCU. You know, there's things that you're told, you know, like we expect you to become a leader, a change agent. We expect you to go out into the community and change things and make things better. You know, the fact that you're in college is a privilege. A lot of people that you probably grew up with didn't have this privilege. You know, there's all these things that you're told. I didn't hear all of that stuff at my university. I just, you know, I was just going to school. You know, but the messaging that students get at a HBCU, I think, is what helps drive them to be better and to be leaders in their communities. So when I saw that kind of thing going on, I was like, man, HBCUs really have a positive impact on and are uniquely positioned to help people in our community. So that was one thing. The other thing was, as I was an IT guy, I remember we had hired a new vice president for institutional advancement. And I'm in his office and I'm doing what I do. I'm setting up his computer, I'm getting him all set up, and he wasn't in the office yet, so I'm sitting at his desk. And I'm sitting at his desk, and he walks into the office, and I say, oh, I'm sorry, let me get out your way. And he said, no, finish what you're doing. He said, matter of fact, you look kind of good behind that desk there.
Empowerment.
Exactly.
Empowerment.
I mean, you never know what you're going to say to somebody that's going to feed that seed into them. And when he said that, I was like, wow, you know what? I think I could do this. So at that point, I'm saying, you know, I would love to be a vice president of institutional advancement. So, you know, that kind of put me on the path. But even before that, to me, as I was learning more and more about what fundraising was and what advancement was and how it helps the university grow and help students, I said that, you know, whatever I do from here moving forward, it's going to be able to help. I'm going to use my time and my talent and whatever I know to benefit HBCUs. So from that point on, if you look at my resume, there's no job that I've had since then that wasn't impacting the HBCU. You know what I'm saying? And that's where my passion is.
Right. So what, year-wise, like how many?
So year-wise, okay, so we're talking about, I landed on Florida A&M's campus in 2001. I want to say somewhere around 2003, 2004 is when I really found my, okay, this is what I want to do kind of thing. Yeah.
And so, because I like to do that because, like, even with me developing what I've developed over time, and I started here myself, being a student, transferring to an employee, and then I went on and did my own thing, right? But my passion, I knew what my passion was, and I love people. But working here among people that look like me, among people that came up like me, striving to be better, my company, Think Smart Enterprises, building a better you. It's all about showing value, building a better you each and every day that you wake up. Don't be the same person you was yesterday. Be a better you every time you wake up. And that's what drove me. And people think it came overnight. And it's steps, it's journey, it's learning process, it's building an empire within self.
Yeah.
And that's what you've done.
Yeah.
And the connections that you have, you know, even though you're here, you can call other schools and and talk this and talk that, and they like, you know what, we're gonna help you out. You know what I'm saying? The relationships that you build. And I want to showcase that because I knew a little bit about your journey because we discussed it already, but I want the people to know that be patient And patience and persistence is the key.
And preparation.
And preparation also.
Absolutely.
And investing in yourself.
Absolutely, because one of the things that I said when I kind of put myself on this journey is that I don't want to get here and be unprepared. You know, one, I don't want anything to fall in my lap. I don't want, I always said that if I ever had the chance to become a vice president, I want to be able to say, I know how to do this. I don't want to end up in a job and just kind of faking it. You know what I'm saying? So when you're right, where you have to be persistent and you got to plan and you got to be prepared. So all this time, I've gone back to school. I went to Rice University. They have a Center for Philanthropy, and I went through their program to learn how to be a nonprofit executive. They have this thing called CASE, which is the Council for Advancing and Supporting Education. I've gone to them for their Minority Advancement Institute. And a lot of these things, either I had to try to pay for myself, or I sat down and I wrote them and said, I'd love to get a scholarship to your program. And I'd have to fill out things and get it turned in and get references and all those things. And in many cases, I was able to get scholarships that paid for stuff that I did or paid for half of it, have my job pay for some things, and always telling my boss, this is where I'm trying to go. This is what I'm trying to do, so that they know what you're trying to do, so that if they can help you, they'll do that. So any certifications that I had to get, any classes that I had to go, sometimes I've had to present just to kind of build my resume so that people know. Because at the end of the day, once you get somewhere, you want people to be able to say, that guy knows what he's doing. He's credentialed. And I never want to get there without being able to say, I worked and I understand how to do the job. So yeah, you definitely got to prepare yourself and plan. It doesn't just fall in your lap. So yeah, I've worked hard to get here, and but I like I said, I can honestly say, when I see the students that have received scholarships from some of the stuff that I've done, from the funds that I've raised, and I see them, either on LinkedIn or on social media saying, "Hey, I just got a job here." That's what works for me. You know what I'm saying? That it's not about a title and all that stuff. Students moving forward, moving ahead, being great is what I want to do.
I.e. my passion also. So to all my alumni out there, what would you ask of them? Because I don't want to hold your time. You're a busy man. Plus, it's after hours. You gotta get home.
Hey, we good. Yeah.
But what would you want to showcase to our alumni? And you already said what you want to showcase to our students, so you did that to our alumni, so they can support you more.
Right. So think about it like this. I'm only going to be, with the university for so long. If everybody who's employed here, their journey is going to end at some point.
Correct.
Right. And we're going to do everything, and I know I'm going to do everything I can to move this university forward in the time that I'm here. Right. The alumni have to be invested into university to make sure that the students moving forward, that there's a sustainable program for them to move forward. And the only way you can do that is by making an investment in the university. When you put your dollars into the university and they turn around and invest that into students, that's one of the best investments you can make. Because they're going to move on, and they're going to go on, and they're going to be great, and then we're going to expect them to do the same thing that you did, which is give back. And the best way to get students to give back is to be able to say, somebody helped me get here. So when they get there, they can say, you know what, I need to plant a seed for somebody else, because I didn't do this on my own. And I think the alumni, you have a responsibility to your alma mater to make sure the students that come behind you can also have the opportunity to be great the same way you did.
Exactly.
And that's what's going to sustain the university. That's what's going to continue to make us great. I'm going to do everything I can while I'm here to get people to raise money, but the alumni is what's going to sustain the university forever. And as long as the alumni are engaged and are giving back, then other alumni are going to be engaged to give back. So that's what I encourage them to do. You
are 100%. We're going to end it right there. So we salute the divinity in you, and we will see you next time.